All right, I'm here with Zach, who just ran his qualifying. How was the track, Zach?
This track's awesome. Definitely one of my favorite tracks. I like the short course, stuff like that, going around those jumps. I learned my lesson from last race in Powell. Went a little bit too big off that one jump and completely broke my front end off of it. So just took her nice and easy this one and just went out and had a fun time.
That's the way to do it. It's better that way, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You get a race tomorrow.
And I get a race tomorrow, yeah.
So
and
unlike last
time, not mad at me anymore.
Yeah, Dad's not mad,
Dad's
right?
not mad, yeah.
So.
Oh, this track's so much fun though. I really like, the track didn't change very much, except for that one part where you guys filled in the rocks there. I like that little hill going over top of it. It really kind of checks you up and keeps you in tune to what you're doing. I actually really like it. But I mean, this track's just like coming back to like riding a bike. I mean, you just know it every time you come back to it. So it's just so much fun out here.
Perfect. Yeah, you had a decent run though?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna guess it's probably low 3 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, Aaron told us the time. I don't remember what it was, but it was low 3s, so
okay, yeah,
should be good to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that should put you fairly decent for tomorrow, depending on what everybody runs, right?
Right, yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna send them cards. Dad, we're good to go.
Aaron, are we good to go? They were changing batteries. Are everybody good to go? Yes, sir, we're good to go.
So yeah, so you can kind of see coming off the start here. I didn't get a shot of who that was. Oops.
That looked
there
like
we go.
1251, maybe.
See when it comes by here. 1279.
Okay.
I think that's a pro. So that was Derek Westrom in a Pro R out of Bozeman, Montana. His sponsors are Aftermarket Assassin, Factory UTV, Method Race Wheels, and Tenzer Tires. So he is in a Pro R. He's in the UTV Unlimited class. These UTVs are fast.
Yeah, like what's the normal lap time that these guys are running?
I don't know. We'll have to see what Aaron here has a cleaner.
They're flying out there.
Brent Burton ran like a 250 something, wow. So he was moving.
Too. Yeah,
he was hauling the mail. So, and he's in a Pro Unlimited 4400 cars. So.
Yeah, that one's a 4-wheel drive, isn't it?
Yep, 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
These UTVs are also 4-wheel drive. This is the Pro R. You'll see a lot of Can-Ams in Pro R. This is the Unlimited class. So this is actually the Pro R. So this is actually one of the 4 cylinders. So naturally aspirated 4 cylinders. So this is Polaris's new car. I think they're like 225 from the factory horse.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Just from the factory. That's without doing anything to them.
Wow.
So they're getting fast.
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't really been up close to one in person, but I've heard like they're a lot wider than the other. Maybe a little bit.
They're 74 inches 74 wide, actually.
Okay.
So they are a little bit. Looks like we got a Can-Am there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he had a little fumble there. Greg Williams is on track right now. He's in an X3 out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Icon Builders of Cheyenne is his sponsor. Greg started racing with us last year, so he's had a blast. Such a fun guy. Is always in good spirits. Had the bad luck like we've all had all season. So he's it's been kind of nice to watch him run. So. So Derek Westrom just ran a 3:03. So
Oh,
that's moving.
Yeah.
I don't think Greg Williams would be quite as fast. He had that little fumble there.
Fumble. Yeah, that probably took a couple seconds off.
That little things like that in qualifying will take your time off. But qualifying, you also got to make the choice. You want to qualify decent. You don't want to be in the dust, right?
Right. Oh yeah, I definitely want to start out in front.
But you don't want to push too hard and then break and not be able to run the race tomorrow.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a big gamble that you take.
It's like
there.
a big gamble. So you just gotta figure it out, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, I normally don't figure it out until I'm in the truck on the course. Figure out if I want to slow her down a little bit or push it even further. So.
Yep. So it's a choice you got to make, and those that push pretty hard, they do have all night to fix.
That's right.
Hopefully you break something you got parts for them.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully you brought the right parts along. Just in case.
We already got one we're gonna have to fix tonight. Sheridan, she broke during qualifying.
Oh really?
Lost a front right wheel assembly, so.
Oh no.
We're not sure. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I'm sure Grandpa and me are going to be up all night working on that.
Yeah.
So we'll get her figured, and she'll be racing tomorrow.
Sweet. That'll be awesome. Oh, and I can't thank you guys enough for what you guys do around here. I mean, this what you guys put on is awesome. You can't find it anywhere else. I mean, it's just great. The community of people that come around here, you just can't beat it.
Oh, and they're a great group of people.
Oh yeah, everybody is just awesome.
So out right now in the 32 car, you got Chris Coates and Annalise Zindler. If she's riding, I think he's running solo for qualifying. But Jim and Tracy's Alignment and Dirty Diesel and Napa are his sponsors. So he wasn't able to race this car last race. They just got it back together. Broadview, they had some bad luck and actually caught the car on fire. Had to get a new engine. Threw a rod through the block, and when it did, the oil sprayed on the turbo.
Oh, no.
And caught it on fire. So they've been rebuilding this car. Qualifying today was its time out.
Oh really?
So
wow.
He ran 3 laps around their parking lot, and then that was it.
Wow.
So
well, he's doing really good for being the first time out on that motor.
yeah, so he had a little fumble there, not sure what happened.
Aaron, you got a copy? Yes, go ahead. We've got one more, 6422, that we'll send out, and then when he comes back around, we gotta get another group up here. Okay, sounds good, thanks.
How did Greg run, Aaron? He ran a 3:29, so definitely slower than the 3:02.
Yep.
What did you say your time was?
I want to say either mid 3s or high 3s. I'm not quite sure.
And you were in a stock truck, so
Stock truck.
totally different.
Yep, completely different.
Looks like Chris is having a few issues here. He's going a little slower, so not sure what's going on there.
There's a couple gotchas on top of that ridge that you don't really see. Yeah, you come down, there's a nice big drop off there that you don't really see quite till you hit it. And then yeah, go off from there. But
Last one is on the track before we bring up the next group.
I guess Caleb Rupp.
That is Caleb Rupp. And he is also our live feed sponsor. He's C4 Fabrications, so he's done a bunch of work on this track. He helped get it all ready this time.
That's awesome.
So nice for him. Also, a big thank out to you and your dad for sponsoring from Pierce Sports Center.
Yeah.
I mean, these sponsors, guys, we need to support the people who support us. So these sponsors, we couldn't do this without them. They're what makes it so we can afford to do this and put these races on.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so
definitely.
the sponsorships help huge. So go support these guys. You need a boat. South Dakota ain't far. Go drive and get a boat.
No.
You need your Lawrence for your race car.
Oh yeah, we got those too.
They got those too. So
Everything
you need, they can get you. So huge thank you to them for doing this, and your dad. Tell him thanks also.
Oh yes, definitely.
Chris ran a 3:32, So that hill that he just went off of and that one,
Oh yeah.
those are big drop-offs.
Oh yes.
So you gotta be careful on those.
If you're not paying attention, oh yeah.
And Caleb's moving. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't one of the faster qualifying
This
times
is definitely gonna be a
we
fast
see.
pass. He is moving.
He's also leading our points as it stands right
Oh
now.
really? That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't Caleb leading the points, Aaron? Is Caleb leading the points?
But he's been doing really good every race so far. I mean,
Yeah, he rebuilt that whole car this year.
Oh really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
took it all the way down, rebuilt it, went through it all. I was talking to him yesterday. He was in another machine out here helping us kind of mark the track and set some stuff up. So I was asking him, and he bought a whole nother machine because he goes, this one's not good for trails anymore. So it is strictly going to be the race car. You can see he is flat out moving.
Yes. I'm going to be very excited to see what he's going to run on this pass. This is going to be definitely a fast one.
And our drone's having a little bit of trouble keeping up here. And this is kind of off camber. I mean, you come off that jump there, and you're
right in that corner going downhill. Yeah, it's kind of a weird angle it's come off of.
Watch his time. I need it. He just ran a 2:52.
Oh my gosh,
that is
fast.
under 3. So he ran within seconds of a 4,400 car.
Yeah. Was he faster than Brent, or was he?
No, Brent
slower?
was 250.
250. Oh, awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Awesome job by Caleb. Next group should be coming up now. They're lining up the next group of racers. As soon as they get lined up, we'll start dropping our next group. Looks like we got some side-by-sides right out of the gate.
Yeah. You know about how many side-by-sides we had registered for this race?
I do not. There's 22 side-by-sides registered in this race, so
that's awesome.
That's it's a big group.
Yeah.
They'll race 2 races. So how that's going to work, we set it up where there's 2 races for them. So when you qualify for your odds, you race the first group. If you're evens, you race the second group. When Erin takes the timing, she meshes the timing all together, and that's how you finish.
Okay.
So that'll leave, with 22, it'll leave 11 people per race.
Wow.
You're more likely to have clean air.
Right.
You're only fighting through. That'll leave 6 rows.
Yeah.
So way easier for us on the start,
Yeah.
and you're not fighting through the crowd as bad.
Oh,
So it's a way funner race for the racers.
Oh yeah.
And that you get 22 of them out there at once. This track, that would be so much of a mess.
Yes, it would.
And you know, it's not fair. I mean, yeah, the guys qualified slow in the back, but then they got to fight their way all the way through 10 rows of people.
Right.
This is a little funner if you happen to not qualify,
Mm-hmm.
or you had a bad qualifying run.
Yep,
Okay, is
definitely.
that everybody?
Definitely.
Hang on a second. No, I got some more that'll be coming up.
See our track people and our starting officials getting everybody ready. They got everybody lined up. They're going to start running everybody here in just a minute.
We got to stop this other one coming up. Cody, just let him come on out. He's up here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's another one too.
All right, Dean, I got him blocked off. No more will come up to you. Okay, Michael, Aaron, are you ready?
Answer your radio.
Cody.
What you do?
Yes, I'm ready. Mike, are you ready?
Off the line right now, that looks like we have the 499 car.
On the track.
Oh, sorry, 4997 of Jacob Winners. I should know that
You right?
number.
Yeah.
That's the car I built to race hammers in. And that's the car I raced hammers in. So, that's Jacob Winners. Sponsors for him. He's in a X3 RC out of Billings. It's Jim and Tracy's Alignment, Dirty Diesel, and Napa. So this is his first season racing. So he raced Broadview and got 5th in Broadview.
Wow,
so
that's
not
really
too bad.
good, yeah.
So we'll see how he does here.
Looks like he's on a good pace right now.
He's not on a bad pace. So he said he just wanted to get a decent middle pack, and he wanted to finish qualifying without having to work on the car all night. So
That's the way to do it right there. You know?
so just get decent qualifying and go from there.
What was the issues they were having in Powell with the car?
Broke an upper A-arm.
Oh, okay.
So A-arms, they were running a great A-arm. You're not supposed to run sway bars with them, and they had sway bars hooked up.
Oh, okay.
100% my fault. I hooked them up. But they got another set on. They'll get those replaced, put them back on. So
Oh, sweet.
he's still doing decent. That is rougher than you think. It looks like everybody's going slow through that section, but it is actually fairly rough.
Yeah, it is fairly rough. I mean, it's like coming over the hill when you don't see where you're going. That's where that's where at least I check up the most, is when I don't really recognize what's going on.
He did a little check up there on that corner, so cost him just a little bit there, it looks like, but he's back going pretty good. So some of these guys run them in 2-wheel drive, some run in 4. I prefer to run in 4-wheel drive. It pulls you through the corner, less sliding.
Makes sense.
Get a little bit better time, I feel. So always good there.
Yes, definitely.
On screen right there, that's Annalise Zindler in a 4800 car. It's Jim and Tracy's Alignment, Dirty Diesel, Gary Roth, Octane Addiction, PRP, Rugged Radios, Grandpa, Inland Trucks Parts, DRW Performance, and SCS Wraps are her sponsors. So she'll be 18, so not too bad running a 4400 car.
Oh, definitely.
She's running pretty hard, so
Oh, yeah.
always good there. She's been having brake issues. They finally figured out what it was after pre-run today, so she should be running pretty good now. They got it all fixed and taken care of. She's been fighting it for a couple races. There was a bad solenoid.
Oh, really?
And this has line lock, is how the park brake works. The 4997 in Jake ran a 3:39, so it's a pretty respectable time there.
Yes, definitely.
So,
oh, that's awesome.
but that solenoid was bad, so it would automatically like the lock. After she hit the brakes, the line lock would come on and lock the brakes up.
Jeez.
So they finally narrowed it down and unplugged all the wiring from it, and then just took it out.
Makes
because
sense.
they weren't sure.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll help her out and she won't have so many issues.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, it's only 3 sets of brake pads and 2 drums later, you know, before they figured it out. But
going through that fast, yeah.
Yeah.
And going through these races without any brakes is not fun. Not fun.
That's how she finished PAL last race.
Wow.
Yeah. No brakes. So she went on her last lap. Brakes were all faded because of just burning through them. And she went and finished her last lap. Actually podiumed with that.
That's awesome.
So awesome finish for her.
Yeah.
Next up on the screen there, you got Mike Johnley. That's in a Pro 2 car. Looks a little different. He's got all the plastic off of it. But he is... Mike Johnley's been racing for years and years.
Yes, he has.
So he lives down here in South Dakota now. And so this is in his backyard. It's about 15 minutes from here. So
Yeah.
so
Hey, Michael, you got a copy? He'll let that dust settle a little bit from him.
Oh, I ran. Oh, really? Cool. I ran a 3:35.
so Zach ran a 3:35, so that's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
What did Annalise run? Annalise ran a 3:23. Not too
Wow,
bad.
That's pretty darn good. Yeah.
She was moving. Matter of fact, isn't it just better than what we heard your time was?
Well, it
I
is.
didn't want to rub it in,
No,
but no.
You're right. Yeah. That's
She's
awesome.
got a lot more horsepower and a lot more
horse-
suspension than you.
Oh, definitely.
Totally different class of car.
Yeah.
So we are going to let the officials just made the call. They're going to let Mike run all the way through. He's kicking up so much dust. We want to make it fair for the next guy qualifying. So they're going to let that dust settle for a minute. And he's fast, so they're going to wait a second and then they'll send the next group.
Yeah,
So.
you kind of wish there was a little bit more of a breeze today for this qualifying.
I know, and there was.
There was a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and then it just, of course, it died. So we're hoping tomorrow we got a breeze. That breeze, it's amazing how much that helps us.
It's a night and day difference out there.
So.
We're going to let that settle just a little bit, Michael, before we send the next one. That's fine. Thank you.
There's Mike coming through. We'll see what his time is. Let's see how he did compared to
Yeah,
Brent.
he's going to be a fast guy right there.
How'd he run? He just ran a 2:57. This time,
No.
Caleb ran faster than him, so.
Still very fast time though.
But just remember, Caleb's four-wheel drive,
Brent's four-wheel drive.
Brent's four-wheel drive,
Mhm.
and this is two-wheel drive. You have a lot of dust, you spin a lot of tires,
That's
but
right.
not sure you really catch traction unless you don't got those tires set up
Oh, that's
right.
definitely right. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
So Brett Burton is still holding fast lap at 250.
Yeah.
And that's in that mystery machine looking car.
That's a good looking car right there.
So, and he's getting faster, and his daughter's with him riding this time.
That's
so awesome deal.
Awesome.
I can't remember how old she is, but she's a teenager.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of cool getting to race with Dad.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. That's all I got started, and it's all a family thing.
That's it.
Batteries.
Huh?
They're gonna hold them up, so I'm gonna switch batteries.
As you guys can see, that dust is just lingering. They're going to hold on for a second before they drop that, just to make it fair.
Dallas is switching batteries, so hold on for a sec.
Okay.
So, but once again, we can't do any of this without our sponsors. You see some of the flags there. DRW Performance, they've been with us since the beginning. Metalworks, they build all our trophies.
Yeah,
Don't charge us a dime, but they build all their trophies for us.
Awesome.
Great fab. They got CNC machines, lathes. They do anything. They've built gates for people. They've built. So get a hold of them even if you need your own custom work. They built a lot of parts. Like if you go to Brett Burton's car, everything that was cut out for the rear control arms and all that, and then the stuff that was CNC'd was all done by Metalworks. They took care of it for us. So
Cool. That is
super good machine shop.
Yeah.
They'll build your race parts for them. Great group of guys. If you need any help, just call Jimmy there at Metalworks. He does a great job.
Cool.
DRW, they've been around forever and ever. I think there ain't one of us that don't have one of their parts on their car somewhere.
Nope.
So
Yep.
big thanks to them. Elevated Power Sports, they're our series sponsor in Can-Am. We couldn't put this on together without them. So, you know, huge shout out to Can-Am and Elevated Power Sports. Great group of guys up there. They do a bunch of great stuff. Like 2 weeks ago, I was in the mountains with them doing a veteran run that they put on.
Okay.
So they brought 10 veterans in from all over the country, and we took them up to the mountains and ran them around. And that was all sponsored by Elevated Power Sports.
Wow.
The food and meals were cooked by the family, and we took them out. So great group of people. Couldn't ask for a better group and
Most
better
definitely.
Anley. You know, what they do for the vets and everything is priceless.
Yeah.
So we got the 4928 car. I scrolled down too fast here. 4982, sorry, not 28. Is Jeff Bachman, and he's in a Turbo S out of Granby, Colorado. Warren Witch, Raceline Wheels, ITP, and of course the Pit Guys. So I don't know if you guys listen to podcasts, but if you do, the Pit Guys podcast is always fun to listen to. They strictly are all dedicated to, they are just pit guys, but they just interview racers. So they've had
I've
from,
definitely listened to their podcast multiple times. They do some good, really good stuff.
I
on
mean,
there.
me and Aaron have been on there promoting the race, and they interviewed us at that race coming up. Finishers of King of the Hammers, they've done a great job. So
Very good. Yeah.
this is their team, and they just run pits, so they don't race. They got a driver and stuff, and they run the pits. So
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always a good time whenever I see that the Pit Guys posted a new podcast to listen to.
exactly. And I think I'll have to double check. Aaron has him in turbo, but I think he went into the unlimited class.
Oh, really?
He wanted to bump up with the big boys, so
Okay. Yeah.
he's running
See what
that.
he can do with
And he
that.
did that because there's some gray area on frame stretches and stuff. And so he didn't even want to be in the gray area. That frame has a little extension in it. As you can see, it looks a little longer.
Yep.
So with that, he just said, in Ultra 4 where they race, they would have to be in the modified class.
Okay.
So which is our unlimited.
Right.
So he said, just keep me in the class I'm used to. So he's
Makes
going to
sense.
race with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
great
that's
job.
awesome. Thumbs up.
That was.
going down.
Oh, right. He just ran a 3:05. So we'll see how Nate Thompson does here. Nate is sponsors are Dakota Alignment and Frame, Method Race Wheels, and Tensor Tires. Off the line right there.
How dusty is it down below?
Is that Mark? No.
Should have one on my list. On that 1616 there, up on the screen, in the Volkswagen, he's actually our current leader of the points right now. So he just ran a 2:56, so he's right in there.
Another one of the fast
We need to
laps.
wait a little bit for this stuff, guys. All right, we'll hold them up here just for.
Oh, you can trade.
It's Matt Rowe on screen right now, going through there. So we're gonna let some of the dust settle before we hit the next group. We had Caleb. Caleb just walked in from C4 Fab. How's it going? How was the qualifying lap?
It was good. It felt a little sloppy on my end, but apparently I was pretty fast, so that's good.
You were real fast.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're sitting right there with Brett Burton in the pro truck and
Nice.
Mike Johnling. So you're sitting really good. I don't know where you are now, but you ran a good time
Yeah,
so
thank
far.
you.
So
Yeah. I'm interested to see how the Casey Welty and Cody Williams, those guys are always really fast. So I'm
and
curious
you're
to
double registered in both classes, are you not?
see. Yes, I did this one.
So you're racing your normal class, the Pro Turbo,
Yep.
the Turbo class, but you're also racing in the Unlimited class.
Yes.
Just see how you stack up against the
Yeah.
the Pro R's, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I want to try and push myself, see if I can hang with those guys, and hopefully I'll be racing with a couple of them in our heat and see how we stack up.
Track felt good though,
Yeah,
for the most part.
it feels awesome. It's such a fun track. I love racing at this one.
Once again, Caleb is with C4 Fabrication, as I said earlier. He's the one that's sponsoring all this live feed you guys are getting right now. So, big thank you to you for supporting us and supporting the series.
Absolutely, you're welcome. I enjoy it.
Looking down there.
I think give it like a half a minute maybe. I just can't.
So they're letting some of the dust clear. So we got some dust is hanging. We got zero wind,
Yeah.
of course.
It just died off about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, so it's not real helpful for us. So
Okay.
Matt Rowe ran a 3:37 in that 1660 Volkswagen, so that's a pretty good time. This is the 55 car
Matthew Weiss.
of Matthew Weiss. It's a 91 Jeep YJ with an LS60 in it on tons. He's out of Meade, Colorado. His sponsors are his wife's credit card and Yukon Gear and Axle. So,
Nice.
if you ever read through a sponsor list, you'd amaze what people put. So, and I'm like Anchor Man. I just read whatever's on the screen.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to think of something funny to put in there for this one. See if
to
you'd catch
beat
it.
out the last time when
Yeah.
I caught myself.
Right, or if you would just read it and not think about it. I couldn't come up with anything.
Yeah,
good,
you
though.
didn't have anything in there. Old Al Hogan, when he would make me register for him because he didn't have a computer, so his sponsors were all over the place when I put them down. Usually Viagra, one of those. So Matthew Reese, he's been racing the whole season with us, and not only is he racing with us, but he's racing with Ultra 4, chasing that series. So he's getting a ton of wheel time racing both series. So he didn't want to go to Pennsylvania this weekend, so he came up and raced with us. He's sitting pretty decent right now. Gets me off guard. He changed colors of this Jeep, so it's been white forever, and then he changes to blue. One of our UTV guys, I'm like, God, that number looks familiar. And they totally changed the wrap on their car, so went from white to black, and that messes me every time.
Yeah. Well, I swapped out wheels and tires for this race too. We
Yeah,
normally
you don't have the green wheels,
yeah,
so
usually have bright green wheels and the 33 Nittos, and I went down to 30s for this one on some Can-Am 14-inch B-locks. Just a lot lighter weight and smaller, and helps us slide around the track better.
did it feel a little faster with those smaller tires?
Yeah.
What?
What was his time?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, this one you don't need the bigger tires. You don't have like broad view where you got the big ruts and the deep sections and all that.
Yeah.
So the big tires really aren't helping you.
Yeah.
So
And those Nittos are such a square tread pattern and a square like sidewall. They don't slide the best. They almost have too much traction for this course. So getting some smaller, a little more rounded tires on there that slide better is working a lot better for us on this one.
and a little less weight there too to these wheels, I imagine.
Yeah, about
The-
20 pounds per. So that's
So 20 pounds per, that's a huge weight savings
Yeah.
you got there.
yeah. We took probably 200 pounds at least off the car before this one. So make a big difference.
Okay, out there right now is Gage Tui. He's in a S3 built XC Turbo R. He's out of Box Elder, South Dakota. So, no sponsors listed.
I'll have to catch up with that guy. Seems like it's hard to find any local people that.
Is Box Elder pretty close?
Yeah, it's just a few minutes from here. So, well, from Sturgis, I guess, probably 45 minutes or so, but pretty close in the area.
I think his first race was Broadview with us, so
Is that the one that used to be a completely different color?
white. Yeah, it
Okay.
was like white or something, I think,
Or was
last
it
year.
the, like blue and
Blue and
coral kind of color? It was
Yes.
Like a mix.
yeah, and it was because it's T821 is his car number, so.
Okay.
Okay, on screen now is Clayton Keesley. This is his first race ever. He's out of Colorado. So he's not on my sponsor list. So, but first time out racing, so we'll see how he does. He just ran a 3:01. That's Greg Tui. So that's right there in the middle of the pack, so that should be decent.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that we were just talking about previously, didn't he crash his out in Broadview? And
Bad. Broke a front ball joint, I believe, and went end over end, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked pretty bad. I was just looking at his Instagram page last night, and the car was all broken to pieces a couple months ago. So, yeah, that must have been a rough one.
Yeah, broke a ball joint, lost the wheel in a bad area in Broadview, which I don't know if he'd probably running pretty fast. Broadview's a fast track.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he was up moving and did not turn out very good for him.
And I saw, was it Sheridan driving the 1600?
Yeah,
Lost the wheel?
she lost her wheel, and we're gonna have to fix that tonight. I'm not sure, the rotor's missing and everything else. We got to go find it. So
Oh, geez.
I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
That's Clint Peterson right there on screen. He's in the Pro Unlimited class. It's a Trent Fab 4400, so same as the other 4400. He's at a Gillette, Dakota Alignment and Repair, F16 Service, West Construction, Fester's Performance are his sponsors. He should run a fairly decent time.
Yeah, those Trent Fab cars are really neat looking. I like those.
Yeah, they're real well built. Hang a little lower than some of the other cars as far as the 4400s go.
Yeah.
So most all the suspension is drop out instead of keeping the body low body weight.
322 for Blake.
Clayton ran a 3:22, so that's a good time for first time ever racing. So
That's cool. Have you guys had a few new racers coming in this year, or?
yeah, we've had actually quite a few new racers this year. It's been pretty good. There's a 4-seater that I haven't seen him run yet, so he might be running. He was new. First race for him was PAL,
Yeah.
so that was last race. This guy's new. There's a handful of new ones. So,
That's good.
and some that have raced with us before with Ultra 4, and then are starting to chase our series too. So that's been pretty good for us also.
Nice. Yeah, there aren't many. I guess I don't know if there are any at all Ultra 4 races that are more kind of in the Midwest area.
No, so
You got to travel pretty far to get to those.
like really for the West Series, as far as it goes for Ultra 4, our race in Broadview, Crandon's considered West, and Visions, which is Oklahoma, not real West for me.
Yeah.
But so we are as far west. This weekend they're in Pennsylvania. They're way on the East Coast next weekend. So
Yeah.
on the screen right there now is Jeremy Rathjan. He's at Hitchcock, South Dakota. Did I say that right?
I think so. Sounds correct.
Sounds good enough. Sketches Well Service, Hills Trucking, Van Dusken Farms, AA Motorsports, PJ's Machine and Repair, Double E Racing Shocks, S3 Power Sports, Jared Fashings, Tara Olstrom and family, Dalton, Kathleen, mom, dad, and the entire family is likes his sponsors.
Nice.
So, and he's fast. He runs a good race. He did really good in Broadview.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I need to get out and chat with more of the other drivers here and stuff too. And I've gotten to know a few more of them this year. But I've just never been very good at that in the past. I need to do that more now.
yeah, Jeremy's been around for. He took last year off, so it was 2 years before that he raced. So he's been racing for a while.
Yeah.
Car's almost set up kind of like short course car. It's way lower to the ground.
Yeah.
He's always running those smaller tires, so that might give him a little advantage on this track here.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, there's a couple spots where the car will still bottom out with smaller tires if you don't have your ride height up high enough.
Yeah.
Mine was sitting a little too low this morning, and during pre-running, we bottomed out hard, and so I had to make some adjustments and get it up another inch or so, and it feels a lot better now.
How's the car flying with the? How's the car flying with the no spare tire and everything in the back?
It's been great so far. I think the adjustments this
Helped
morning
out.
It was bucking pretty bad in the back. The rear end was lifting on the jumps, and I added some more ride height up front to get the car raked and have the back settled a little bit. And I can hit that second table about 75, and it just flies
Awesome.
nice and smooth. So it's fun.
Looks like we're gonna have one of the other. We're doing a battery swap, so the drone will be back up in just a minute, and then we have another stock truck, and then the Pro R's you've been waiting for. So
Yeah, I know.
I guess Cody usually lays down a pretty fast time.
Cody is fast. Yep.
I think he held fast lap in PAL, if I remember right, didn't
Yep. Yep. Did Aaron just say his time? Jeremy?
he? Aaron, what was Jeremy's time?
3 minutes even.
He ran a 3-minute even, so
3 minutes, 0.64.
so that should put him right there, one of the front couple rows in either group, depending on which one he is.
Yeah.
How do you like that now that on these smaller short courses where we divide the group in two? Does that make it nicer? You're not fighting through as many people?
Yeah. It's nice to have less cars on the track. I mean, the smaller track like this, you always catch up to them somewhere
Yeah.
along the line. So it's not like there's a small amount of cars that you don't get any competition. You know, it feels like just the right amount.
Yeah. Makes it way easier on us in timing, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I bet.
And being nervous that we're going to get because it got there for a while, we had enough UTVs that we were having to drop every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And nobody gets clean air with that, so
Yeah.
this works way better.
There's no one on course. You're clear.
Taking him off.
Thank you.
So this is Keaton Potter in a 96 Cherokee. He won the championship last year. He was leading the parts. This year he had a bad run in PAL, so it cost him a little bit. So he's back. He fixed the car, so should be pretty good coming back on that.
He took that turn really nicely there.
Yeah,
Slid
he
right
did.
around it.
Slid around it.
There's
Potter Auto Body, TDK Performance, AWF Motorsports, PJG Motorsports, Yellowstone Edge RV Park, and Switchback Designs are some of his sponsors.
Yeah, some of those turns out there are, like I said, I felt a little sloppy in my qualifying run because I pushed a little too hard and slid all the way to the outside and was kind of on the edge of the grass out there in the deep, really powdery stuff. And it's hard to judge on some of those. They're so big if you should just slow down and go really tight to the inside or keep your speed and slide way around the outside. I'm not sure which is the better way to do it.
So we've had this talk. It's the talk we always have, is two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. What do you run in?
Yeah, I'm four-wheel drive always. Yeah.
That's what I always did.
Yeah, definitely.
I run
fast.
four-wheel drive. I think it's faster through the corners. You're pulling through them more.
Yeah. You can-
There is some racers, even in side-by-sides on a track like this, that'll run two-wheel drive, and I just think you're a little, to me, it feels a little sloppy in the back,
Yeah.
and you can't quite get it under control.
Well, and it's the drivetrain, you know, being in four-wheel drive, it slows the car down more evenly too when you're coming into turns and have to slam
Just
on
let
the brakes
off.
really quickly, and it pulls out of the turns. Acceleration is better getting out of the turn in four-wheel drive.
So on the screen right now, that's Royce Dillon. He's in a 1600 Bug. That's one of 1600s. He's out of Wisconsin. It's a heck of a drive, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then J&L Barbecue is his sponsor. So he came, raced Broadview. Broadview was a long race for those 1600s. They ran 2 laps, so they ran 80 miles.
That is a long one.
That is, and it's not smooth.
Yeah.
Broadview is not smooth.
Yeah, there's some really big G-outs and ruts. Well, some of the ruts, I've never seen them that deep out there before.
Oh,
I've raced at Broadview, I think that's my 4th time now, and the ruts were 3 feet deep towards the end of the UTV runs, because we were in the second, or not second, I guess there wasn't heats, but there were so many cars out there with Ultra 4. Coming through those turns out by Dead Cow Corner and stuff in that area, the ruts were huge.
Can you imagine doing it in one of those?
No. That's got to be really rough.
So this was a conversation that came up, in Pal. We were sitting around Pal talking with one of the other racers. What would you think about doing UTV only in 12 hours of Broadview?
12 hours.
12 hours.
Oh, wow.
You can have up to X amount of drivers.
Oh, to
So you
swap
can
drivers.
swap drivers,
Yeah.
and it's a 12-hour race.
Huh. That would be a pretty cool challenge to be a part of.
I mean, that comes down to pit crew.
Yes, absolutely.
Keaton just ran a 322, so that'll put him in probably one of the front lines for the stock class. So he ran a good time there. Yeah, we were chatting about it. Me and Don are interested to see.
Yeah.
We might try pulling that off next year. 12 hours of Broadview.
If I could get another driver I trust with my car, you know, I'd have to. There's no way I could do that by myself.
You don't think you just find another passenger and let the wife drive part and you
Well,
drive part?
I've asked her before if she wants to drive, and she's, nope, I won't be fast enough. I'll wreck the car or do something, you know, I want you to drive. But I would like her to try it someday.
So that might be your excuse. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to have to drive. We're going to find 2 new co-drivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't, personally, on the 12 hours like that, I wouldn't make you guys have a co-driver.
Yeah.
I think I would want to help keep me awake on that long of a race, right? But that's coming down to pit crews on a race like that.
Yeah.
So that's Casey Welty in the Pro Y.O.R.R. That's the one you've been waiting for, right? One of them out of Sheridan, Wyoming. Go fast, don't die. ZRP method race wheels, next gen, Smitty race suspension, RTR automotive studio, Kirby Saloon, Letter Buck car wash, Sheridan Liquor, Elite Auto Body, and Excalibur Construction are his sponsors. And Casey's pretty fast. He had some bad luck in PAL. He broke a rear shock. That's just pretty much turned that rear shock into a U.
Yeah. I think he said the lower coil bucket popped out.
Yeah.
And then the shock just folded in half.
Number 500 car ran a 342. Be interesting to see these guys how they do. That drop that Casey just went off right before this one, that's actually a pretty steep drop off.
It is. Yeah.
You gotta check up for that.
Yeah. Because you can definitely go into it too fast.
We had that happen last year, remember? With a couple of those, it was a pro truck. 2 pro trucks were fighting all the way through there.
Yeah.
And one of the guys forgot about it and overshot it. Went end over end. So.
Oh, geez. Is that the one that ended up in the ditch down there too, off the side?
Yes, and they had to pull him out because he was right off the track.
Yeah. So is there just the 2 groups for qualifying? Is this the last few cars that are going?
There's 7 more they just said that they that they're bringing up.
Okay.
They weren't lined up and ready, so they'll bring them up next.
Oh, that's Nate Thompson, I think.
Is it?
I think so, from Sioux Falls.
342.
No, who was that?
Well, that's
Right now, number 930. Sponsor Dakota Alignment and Frame, Method Race Wheels, and Tenzer Tires.
Okay, so he just started. I was thinking he was coming around the end there. for
No,
some
he
reason.
just started.
Okay.
Tony, you got a copy?
Casey Welty just ran a 307.
He must have been taking it easy.
Yeah,
I expected a quicker time out of him, but maybe he's taking it easy just for qualifying. And
it's kind of the options you have. It's either decide you want to qualify fast and hope you don't break,
yeah,
or take it a little easier and
yeah.
go from there. That's Nate Thompson up on screen, coming through that upper chicane.
And I suppose he's racing in a pretty small pack too with the, well, I guess we're all racing together, but as far as the unlimited cars goes, there are like 4 or 5 cars in that class.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you guys
5.
in that class. And that's counting you in there, and you're racing in both. So
Yeah,
there's
okay.
5 in that class. And the way it stands right now, I can't remember how the points are on that class. So, but are you leading the points in the pro class?
By 1.
By
I've-
1
I've-
point.
Yeah, I've got 1 point on Nate. Nate's out there right now because he got first at Broadview, which got him a lot of points because there's so many racers at that one.
Yep.
And we ended up 3rd there, so he grabbed a lot of points at Broadview, and then us getting first at Powell, I think he ended up 4th or something there. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but yeah, we're 1 point apart right now.
For the first time I remember in the comp class, I think it is, there is a tie for 3rd
Oh, really?
right now. So that's always interesting on how that's going to work out.
Yeah. Well, he came around that turn nice. That's a tough one too down there.
Is that Turner?
Yeah, because it's downhill and it just gets increasingly tighter as you come around. So it's easy to come into it too fast and slide way to the outside.
One that looks kind of weird is one he just came off, where you're coming off that start finish and then doing into the corner.
Nice.
301 for Nate.
Nate just ran a 301,
Nice.
so
Yeah.
looks like he's going to be ahead of Welty,
Yeah.
but you're still ahead of both of them in the start.
Yeah. So I think Cody Williams is my other worry at this point. See
Yeah,
where
and
he
I
lands.
think I haven't seen him run yet.
No, I don't think he has. Looked like he showed up a little later today too. I don't think he got here until qualifying was already starting.
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and switch battery so I can make it go.
looks like we got a bunch of trucks left to line up. And I still don't see Cody lined up there. I thought he was up there with Casey, but
Oh, there he is. He's pulling up the hill right now.
there he is. And the 4-seater, that guy's new after Pal. And he didn't have very good luck in Pal. He ripped the whole front right corner off.
Yeah.
That's the one thing the whole time I raced hammers that I was worried about was those front A-arms. They
Yeah.
take a beating,
Yes, they
a
do.
bad beating.
Well, you had all the new ZRP stuff on there,
Yes.
and they're
yeah.
double shear knuckles probably.
Yep, and they're double shear. So I mean, I was
Yeah.
solid and built strong there, but you still, man, some of those rocks that you hit during
Yeah.
that were rough.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I don't know if I ever even talked to you after that, and it's awesome that you finished that race. Was that a pretty fun experience or what?
It was. It's an experience. It was fun. It was a blast. but 9.5 hours in a car
Ooh, wow.
is a lot.
You're just trying to convince me we need to do 12.
Yeah, I know. What's a couple more hours at that point? Here's the difference. There's driver swaps that you
Yeah.
can do in that. So at 6 hours, you could have got out of the car.
Yeah.
So this is John Owen qualifying right now. John Owen is actually driving from Helena, Montana here right now. So that's actually Ashley Rathkamp, his passenger,
Oh,
qualifying for him.
awesome.
So she used to race with us way back in the day. So her first time in this truck, trying it was, well, during pre-run.
Yeah.